In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Victor Wembanyama and if he is currently a #1 overall pick for this upcoming year's NBA draft. So let's get down and let's check out the biggest and best unicorn ever. Really quickly, make sure to go check out the hardest basketball shooting workout down in the description below if you want to be able to shoot the basketball better and further. Okay, so first off, coming off of this screen and roll, he sprints to the rim and he's looking at the ball handler. They both make obvious eye contact and he gets that ball right in the middle of the key. That is exactly the most perfect spot for him. The reason being is because he is a massive individual and he's going to go straight up and dunk, and players like that will just move out of the way because they don't want to be on the poster. Here, we basically have essentially the same play. He gets the ball in the high post instead. He takes a quick spin and then he dribbles and passes to his teammate who is in the block. Now, while I am not a fan of players who take a spin dribble in the key when there's two players around you, it worked for him. He was able to get it to a teammate who was then able to, of course, score. Here, Victor Wembanyama sets another screen. His teammate uses that screen. After he uses that screen, Victor Wembanyama pops out for a three. Now, why is this important? Well, his man drops really far away from Victor Wembanyama, basically to cut off the ability for him to roll towards the basket. This then allows Victor Wembanyama to have a wide open three, and he's actually a pretty solid three-point shooter. We can see that because his shoulders are over his knees, over his toes. He's very balanced. He's looking at the rim, and when he goes from a gather up to his set point, he very little at all moves his elbow. It stays on the same degree from here almost to here, and then he's able to release that shot. He has a nice high release with the elbow above the forehead, and then when we look at the ball itself, the drop angle is around 42 degrees, which is exactly where you want it to be. You want it to be between 41 to about 47 degrees roughly. If it drops from too high, if it hits the rim, it's going to have a faster descent due to gravity. And if it's too low, the rim looks too small for the ball and it will probably bounce out. Within that 41 to about 47 degree angle right there is where you want that ball to be when it's dropping towards the rim. And then at his set point, we can see that that ball is above his shoulder. You want it to be either above the shoulder or upper arm. And we can see that that shoulder and elbow are in line with the rim, so he has an absolutely perfect shot. We can also see that his palm is slightly on the ball, which will give him essentially more accuracy, especially considering that his hand is absolutely massive. He also has a soft release and zero thumb flick. If we look at the ball itself, we can see that this is 1 full rotation, 2 full rotations, 3 full rotations, and about a half. So he has 3.5 rotations on the ball, and you generally want more than 2.5, so that is perfect as well. One thing that a lot of younger players don't do is they make themselves visible. Victor Wembanyama makes himself visible to his teammates so that they can pass him the ball. Now, with his wingspan, they can literally pass to within like a 20-foot area and he's going to be able to get it. And I mean 20 feet like width-wise. Because of his wingspan. When he gets that ball, he keeps it high at first, away from the reaching hands. Here he takes a dribble, and then he's able to then finish at the rim. The reason why this worked is because he planted that outside left foot first, which gives him momentum to go towards the rim, and then he's able to finish with a finger roll. He also is really good at spotting up for threes, as we can see here. You always want to keep the defense honest, because when you get that ball out in the three and you keep the defense honest, you can go for shot fakes as we see here and then blow right by your man because they are afraid of you shooting, so that then you can finish at the rim. Now, coaches and even players, if you've got a big man like Victor Wembanyama and you're going up against a zone defense, guess what you can do? Get that ball into the high post and either have him cut baseline or just have him sit in the dunker spot. If he can sit in the dunker spot, literally just outside of the key, if you draw up that middle defender by getting that ball into the high post, you can then just easily lob that ball down to him and you can get some pretty easy dunks. Will Victor Wembanyama become a number 1 overall draft pick? He's got a lot of good competition this year. This year and the last couple of years have been some of the most deepest drafts in my opinion ever, and I think the next 1 or 2 years is going to be the exact same. However, this year, you have a 7'6" guy who can do pretty much everything. He can play like Steph Curry, he can play like Shaq, and he's 7'6", or 7'5" or 4. Depending on where you look, he's massive, any way you look at it. So, with Victor Wembanyama, yes, he's going to be the number 1 overall draft pick, and yes, he's going to be an absolute game changer. He's going to be changing the game. There's going to be more and more teams looking for longer wingspan players. Some are already looking for them, like the Raptors and Cleveland. But he is going to be a game changer. He's going to win a championship most likely, and most likely will also win NBA MVP or even championship game MVP as well. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. Make sure to go check out my hardest basketball shooting workout down in the description below, and I'll see you guys again next time.